Mm, mm. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome to Love Tips and Velvet Lips. I am your host, Marla Renee Stewart, here live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. Welcome. Happy Monday, y'all. It's been an amazing weekend. Today we're going to talk all about auditory seduction, but before we do that, I wanted to check in with y'all. How was last week for you? Did you do, did you get into anything? And I did. I was super happy. I was over at in Atlanta this weekend, and I got to. I'm missing earrings, y'all. I don't like that. I don't like missing earrings. Let's put these on. Woke up too early today. Let's put some earrings on. Let's get some little zazz. Little zazz for the day. Little zazz on the Monday. All right, here we go. Much better. So yeah, I was in Atlanta this weekend. Super fun. I got to teach at Starship on Old National. So it was all about butt stuff. So it was super exciting and fun, and talked all about the things. Had a good little crowd. It was great. Good morning, Womb Care Woman. Yes, had a blast with your partner. Yes, we asked each other difficult questions. Oh, yes, and laughed together a lot. Yes, I love that. I love the bonding, right? Bonding can be so good, especially when you ask difficult questions. I love amazing card decks that can get a little deeper into like your inside of what you want to know about someone. And yeah, and I think it's great for getting to know people. So, and I feel like there's a lot of card decks out there that do that. Some are focused on sexuality, some are focused on, friendship or whatever the case may be, relationships, love. But asking those questions can really help you get to know your partner. So I highly encourage that, especially like during like dinner time or something like that. You know what I mean? Really fun stuff. So yes, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Cute earrings. Thank you. I try. So yes, had a really awesome time doing butt stuff workshop. And then I got 4 bags of butt stuff provided by Intimate Earth and NS Novelties. So thank you all so much for supporting that workshop. And I hope I did you justice by getting your products out to people. And I know a couple was like, oh, we love this one by Intimate Earth. So I know it resonated with some folks on the really great products that Starship had available. So if you haven't been, if you are like, what is Starship? Starship is an amazing toy store in the South. They have a bunch of shops in the region, and they are phenomenal. And every store is like different and amazing and has their own like what they sell more out of, like, so it's really, super popular, but also just like the employees care and they're, non-judgmental. So really great sex shop to be in. So I highly encourage you, if you are like somewhere else, you're not like in the South, totally okay. You can go to my link and you can just go to click on that Starship link and you will be directed right there. Soon enough, I'll have my own little product page on there. And so you'll be able to check out all of my different recommendations, things that are really near and dear to my heart. So then you can check out all the products that I like. And so we're building that out currently. So please make sure you check that out but check out the toys too. And use my code VELVET, VELVET, for a discount, okay? Don't forget that. Use the code VELVET for a discount because you don't want to be leaving without a discount. Okay. All right, y'all. So, if you have questions, please feel free to submit them in the chat. You can also DM me at any given point in time. If you have particular sex questions that you have. If you haven't downloaded your erotic activity bucket list, please make sure you do that. All you have to do is go to bit.ly/eroticme. Or if you just want free weekly sex advice in your inbox, guess what? All you have to do is go to velvetlips.kit.com/subscribe and you can get that. Please make sure you check out my free class to the Art and Science of Seduction to make sure you know how to connect better with people and that they connect better with you. Okay. So with that said, hello. So we are doing auditory seduction today. And so with auditory seduction, so last week we did visual seduction, right? We talked about what makes things visual, right? Like jewelry and, funky glasses and maybe colorful hair and like the things that you wear visually. So this week is all about auditory seduction. And so Woman said, what is my favorite form of auditory seduction? Well, my favorite form of auditory seduction, I think is a couple of things. One is like using my low, soft, deep tone, taking my time with my words, having someone hang on to those words, right? That's definitely one of my favorites. Of course, another one of my favorites is just being inquisitive, right? So questions, feedback, really talking to someone that makes me feel connected with them and learning more about them, right? So when you are seducing someone, which is auditory seduction is seduction by sound, essentially, right? Questions and feedback are really, really great. So even if a deaf person is an auditory person per se, it's all about the questions and feedback. How are you responding to those answers and the feedback that you are getting from what someone is telling you, right? That is how you are feeling connected, right? Variation in your vocabulary, syllables, and speech pattern, right? So making sure you're not talking like this. If you're talking like this, then it's going to be really boring. And if you talk in the same tone, they won't really hear you because you're talking in the same tone over and over. And you're start to bore people. And that's the last thing you want to do, right? You really don't want to bore people. So make sure you have variation, not only in your speech pattern that you're going up and down and you're, a lot of people get on, I think Midwesterners, right? Because they can be sing-songy, but sing-songy is really great in getting auditory people's attention, right? So syllables, having multi-syllable words, which means maybe you need to extend your vocabulary. Auditory people love to hear like different kinds of words and like words you don't use every day. And so even if their like interest is sparked in that word, they're going to be like, ooh, what is that? Oh, hey, okay. So that is really, that's really awesome as well. So you make sure you learn a new word each day and see how you can use it in, your everyday talk to an auditory person. Again, yes, Wound Care Woman is like, come on, deep tone. Low, soft, deep tones, right? Like really going with the chest, going with your gut, right? With these deep tones, but really, again, slowing down. And, what is the that radio station, the midnight train kind of station? Welcome to the midnight train, right? And it's just like the sexy, you have this sexy voice. You are think about like the taking your time again, but using your deep tones. If you really talk like this and you're always up high, it really can annoy people's ears. So you really want to be able to like not speak so high. So yes, Midwesterner is definitely creative. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Music, y'all. Auditory people love music. They love like to hear what they want to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear, right? Is what they want to hear. So curating a playlist of like something that they would love to hear, maybe their own little playlist. You could be like whatever your AI assistant is, and just be like, hey, play my lover's playlist. Um, that would be fantastic, right? Um, and of course, moans and breathy tones. So, being in their ear and just being like, yes, or ooh, right? Like all of those different things, moans, breathy tones, those are really going to turn on people who are auditory. So think about that. And then he said, we love velvety, sultry voices. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They're a turn on, right? Because you're hanging on to you're hanging on to those words. So velvety, sultry voices. Yes. Moans, breath, all of those things are really great ways to seduce someone who is auditory. In addition, there is a auditory hack, right? So if you're like, hey, Marla, how would I know I'm auditory? Well, you can go and take my quiz, velvetlipsexed.com/quiz. Take the quiz. I know it's a really old quiz I did a very long time ago. I need to redo it, but whatever, it works for now. So take the quiz. And then you want to ask them a simple question, right? And the simple question being, what is like, how was your day, right? And an auditory person, guess what they'll do, right? They'll map out their day. They're like, oh, I woke up, I didn't get enough sleep, I stepped down and I stepped on my dog's tail and it awoke me, and then I got in the shower and then it wouldn't get hot. I was just like, I was just confused, or whatever the case may be, right? So again, thinking about that questions part of the feedback, seeing if they answer a simple question like, oh, I'm fine. Usually they're probably not auditory. Auditory people really love to go into detail about like all the things. Okay. So yes, you say you love my quiz. Thank you for the offering. I appreciate it. Yes, you're welcome. I love this quiz because I came up with it, many years ago. I just celebrated 15 years with my business, and coming up with that quiz was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Now people will know, what their seduction learning style is and why it's important, right? So glad you're enjoying the quiz. And it's really great for lovers too. Like if you're like, with a lover, and just be like, hey, take this quiz. You can do that without necessarily going through the different kinds of hacks. Okay, so I want to go back to your question, Wound Care Woman, because you had a question for me I saw earlier, which was, how am I familiar with hypo kink? Hypo kink, this comes to mind. Hypo kink. Do you mean hypno kink? You mean, are you talking about like hypnotism within kink, or are you talking about hypo as in because usually hypo is sense of like an under kink, so I'm not sure what you exactly mean. So maybe give me some clarity. Oh, hypno. Okay. I love that. So me and my partner are going to do it this week as our team building activity. Yes. Team building. Absolutely. Take the quiz. And then if you haven't taken my class yet, you should take my free class as well. And you can go to my velvetlipsexed.com/shop to get that free class. If you haven't taken that class already and learn how to plant sex seeds, really great way to like hang out with your partner and do the thing. So check it out. Okay, hypno. Okay, great. Because I was like, hypo less than kink? All right, hypno kink. Am I familiar with hypno kink or hypnotism in kink? I am familiar with the concept. I do not know how to do hypnotizing people, but what my one of my best friends got hypnotized at a county fair when we were in high school. And I did the things that he did later on, like on the phone, and she did it and didn't realize it. Like I did all the da 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 click and all that. And so, and she did say the alphabet without the letter M. And I was like, holy cow. And so I know hypnotism works. And I literally only did it because I saw how I just copied the guy, right? Not recommending that because, but I was a teenager, you know, of course, teenagers, you want to try everything. Hypnotism is a hard thing because you really have to trust that person, right? To hypnotize you, to do the things that you want to do. It is really about letting go. If your mind is malleable for hypnotism, like all sorts of factors can come into play when it comes to hypnotism. And I feel like there's only a few people that really have been trained or know how to do it that I know personally, that can engage with it ethically, in a way. So I know at Sex Down South. So if you haven't been to Sex Down South yet, please make sure you check it out. Our theme this year is Spiritual Awakening. And of course, if you use my code Marla SDS, you can get 20% off your registration. But there were a couple of people that did do hypnotism classes. And I think it was just showing people like how they could use sort of hypnotism, like in their sex lives or whatever, in their love lives. But I don't necessarily know, like if they were actually, they weren't teaching like how to do hypnotism, just sort of like, what does that look like, I guess, in the context. But I actually have not seen that in a scene. So I have not been able to observe that directly in a scene. So I wonder what that would be like. Definitely interested. See if I have to go over the applications, or me and my team have to go over the applications soon. So we'll be checking those out to see how people are, what people are doing. If people submitted anything on kind of hypno kink or, you know, hypnotherapy or hypnotism, and what that looks like. Yeah. But yeah, very interesting. I haven't observed it, but I'm very interested in observing it. So yeah, most definitely you have to trust the person. Yes, for sure. So you have to attend SDS this year. Absolutely. And find some folks to do Hypno King. Absolutely. You sure can. You will have them. People are willing, open, and ready to learn. And if you want to do some hypno kink, they are willing. You have a lot of willing participants to be there. So, yeah, please make sure you check that out. All right, y'all. Well, next week we are going to be kind of curving it around with tactile or kinesthetic seduction. And so please make sure you check that out with the next Monday. Will I be here next Monday? Yes, I will be here next Monday. I'm trying to think as I'm going out of town, going to King Fest in Portland. So, but we're leaving Tuesday to Tuesday. So yes, I will be here on Monday. So we will be talking about, again, tactile kinesthetic kink. I'm sorry, seduction. And we'll learn some new tricks and things there. But in the meantime, please make sure you check out the quiz to see which one you are, velvetlipsexed.com/quiz. If you want to check out visual seduction, make sure you check out my previous video around visual seduction. And then make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe, people, to videos that will help you every week to ensure your sexual satisfaction, and that you learn something new, not only about yourself, but if you work with clients, you can help them around this piece too. Because this seduction is not only about like lovership, right? It's also about any kind of relationship and how to communicate. So welcome to my TED Talk. I will be submitting that, continuously until the day I die and get on the dadgum TEDx stage, okay? So with that said, Thank you all so much on this wonderful Monday. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have an amazing and fantastic week. And I will see you next Monday. Okay? All right. Bye, y'all.